Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where we bridge the worlds of the taboo topic of money with the woo-woo world of manifestation. We're your hosts, Chris and Jenny Schultz.
We're not just about dollars and cents around here. We're all about lifestyle design. You can be working towards financial independence while still living a life you love today.
Get ready for insightful conversations with guests who have embraced the FIRE movement by achieving financial independence and retiring early, as well as entrepreneurs and individuals who defied the norm and have paved their own way to a life they love.
Together, we'll explore the powerful connection between mindset, financial freedom, and living a purposeful life. And of course, we'll be sharing our own journey to how we carved our path to a seven-figure net worth before hitting the big 4-0. Are you ready to ignite your financial future? Then let's dive right in.
Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where your journey to financial independence and the life you love begins now. Rafi Shaik is the founder of Peaceful Advisor Lifestyle Coaching. He's a transformation coach with over 17 years experience in the financial services industry. Rafi helps financial advisors who are burnt out, stressed, and want a fulfilling career in life to build and grow seven-figure lifestyle practices. And he empowers them to take at least 100 days off every year. Welcome to the show, Rafi. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast. So can you please share with us who you are and your story?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Chris, for having me on the show. It's an honor and privilege to be on one of the Canadian podcasts. You know, my name is Rafi Shaik. I'm the founder of Peaceful Advisory Lifestyle Coaching. It's a coaching company for financial advisors who wanted to build seven-figure lifestyle businesses and take at least 100 days off every year. And I also do some consultations for sales trainings. My journey started in finance about 17 years ago, and I've been in various advisory roles, insurance, financial planning, investment management, and all those aspects. And up until recently, I was one of the top wealth advisors with one of the largest banks here in Canada. And I had a sort of spiritual awakening due to my health and mental crisis. In 2020, my dad passed away due to COVID. He was in India, and I couldn't visit his funeral. And that was the first time for me, I lost someone who was very near and dear to me, because I lost my grandparents and everyone. Like, I was very young. I didn't know much about them. And for me, I didn't know how to process it. Knowing what I know now, I'm better equipped to process any emotions. But back then, I didn't have any. And I guess world was in such a chaos at that point of time. Even if you wanted to lean on someone else, everyone was in the same situation.
Yes.
COVID has touched pretty much directly or indirectly every single person on this face of earth.
Absolutely.
And I became dad for the very first time the same year. And I got a President Award for my outstanding performance. All these emotions kind of came in one single jolt, and the cylinder blew up.
Yes.
Because I didn't know how to process it. I wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't physically prepared to handle all these things. Then I went on a long journey questioning everything. Because when my dad passed away, he was only 63. He was retired only a few years ago. Then I started questioning every single thing in my life. Is this worth it? Because our society teaches us, you're born, you go to school, you get good grades, you graduate university or college, then you get a good job, you get married, you buy a house, get a car, raise kids, work for a company or do whatever you wanted to do, then retire and off into the sunset.
Jenny and I talk about this all the time. That was like a perfect breakdown of what everyone is expected to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I figured early on that that's not what I wanted to do, but I had figured only one aspect of that equation, that income or the wealth aspect of that equation. With someone, I think a lot of listeners would relate to this. When you grow up not having a lot of money, the single most thing on your mind when you grow up is to make a crap load of money. You don't care about anything else. And for me, I went to school when I was 3. I graduated university when I was 19, 20 years old. I'm an engineering graduate with an MBA finance. So I'm a go-getter. I'm run. One of those alpha males. The problem with that is you're on a hamster wheel. You don't even know that you're on a wheel. You're thinking that you're taking a stroll, but no, you're not.
Well, you know what? As somebody that I would say is a high achiever myself, You're on the hamster wheel and it's never enough. Or the drive is so strong that even now, knowing what I know, I'll have days where I will, before 11 a.m., I have done a day's work. And then it's the kids and everything else that goes into a day. And at the end, I'm like, I accomplished nothing today.
I can totally relate to that. I can totally relate to that. And that's what is expected of us and the society and the programs, the mental programs that we run on. Because before this journey, I never believed in anything meditation. For me, that was all woo-woo stuff. And after the path that I walked and I emerged out of the darkness, now I feel how important it is to build that mindset and have a 10,000-foot view on life. Look at the hamster wheel from the top. Then it just looks so silly. Dude, you're running, it's on a treadmill. You ran 10 kilometers, but still you're in your basement.
Yes.
That is why it feels so good running outside than running on a treadmill.
When you identify with how you feel now and how you felt then, that push and it's like a tide, right? Like you feel the push and the pull. You can go back to that space and be like, that doesn't feel good. But the way in which you feel now, you would have never gotten to without that space.
Absolutely. See, it is the awareness. I'm not saying, so now I build some daily practices. Like I read, write, meditate. There are some days I miss it. I go back to my old habits of watching television shows or whatnot, because that's what the life prior was.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go into that space, I'm aware.
Yes.
Because awareness is where that's the seed. You cannot be 100% because for me, I have to be 100%. I have to be on top of everything. There is no buts, no excuses. Excuses are for lame people. I never cut a slack for myself. I used to be very compassionate, empathetic towards others, except for myself.
I'm laughing at you because as one coach to another, the thought that pops into my head is to say to you, like, what does cutting yourself some slack look like?
No, you're right. That's why I say that when you get that realization, when you kind of take that 10,000-foot view and observe yourself, what you're doing, life has a very different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Very different perspective. And when it is enough, I was talking to an advisor and he was saying the same thing. Rafi, my problem is like I'm making proper lot of money, but it's hard to stop. When is it enough?
Yeah.
You make over $1 million, then you wanted to make 2.
Yes.
When you make 2, you want to make 5. When is it enough? I told him it's never enough.
It's certainly never enough when you don't. This is talking about looking around once in a while, but even for people just to acknowledge that they've done it, because people will acknowledge that they've done whatever that they're doing, whatever that goal is, whether it's money, fitness, health, something else. And when they get there, they go, oh, I'm here. And they look around and they go, okay, well, what's next? Rather than being in that moment of, I got here, the journey got me here, reflect on the journey, stay in that place for a moment.
Exactly.
And then you can set a different set of goals.
Absolutely. You're speaking my language. That's what I realized it's not the destination, it's the journey, right? It's not losing those 20 pounds. It's who you become in that process of losing that 20 pounds. Yes. It's not that making that first $1 million. It's who the person you become in making that $1 million. It's not being an ideal parent or father or mother or like whatever. It's who you become in that process, in that journey. I think that's where the essence is. And we all kind of lose sight of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard unless and until like you have someone to talk to, like a mentor, or you're in a community of like-minded people, have someone to talk to, like a mentor or a good friend or someone. These are the only 2 things will keep you on that path. Everything else is fluff. Keep at these 2 things. This is like your GPS. Your GPS will bring you back.
So let's talk about cutting the noise.
There are 2 different ways that you can do it. One simple approach, I call it like put the noise canceling headset approach. Doing the daily practices. Being in that community, holding each other accountable, or having a mentor or a coach or someone you can lean on. Because, say, this is a bottle, we all come with a label. It is very hard to read the label when you're inside the bottle. That's what a person who you work with can read through the ingredients.
Mhm.
Because we keep saying that I'm just a water. I'm just like Aquafina water. I'm just just a regular distillery water or whatever. But the label says, dude, you are an energy drink. You are a Monster energy drink. But we live all our life thinking that I'm just a water H2O.
I really like that metaphor. It's amazing.
And how can you read your own label when you're inside the bottle? You can't. You need someone outside. That is why I say that you have like goals, hire someone. You want to take your business off the ground, hire someone who can help you with that. Want to make crap load of money? Hire someone who you can work with.
Yep.
That's what I say. That a lot of people ask me, Rafi, you have been an advisor before. I wanted to hire an advisor who can help me with my finances. What do you think I should look for? I would say the number one quality that you should look for in the advisor, make sure that they can be a coach more than an advisor for you. Someone who you can lean on, who can give you the hard truth. Not say, you're doing good, like keep at it, You don't want a cheerleader, dude.
Yeah.
You want a damn coach, who's sitting on the sidelines, who's yelling at you, who's making sure you're playing the right game. Not the cheerleader. That's the person whom you wanted to hire and whom you wanted to work with. Because truth hurts.
Yes.
But that's what will set you on the path which will take you to your goals.
You said that, and I had three thoughts. One was, we have a mentor who listens to our podcast. Will know I'm speaking about them when they're listening to this. And that person has been and continues to be so instrumental in our lives and does it from the kindness of their heart. That's just who they are. And anytime that we show up for someone else, that mentor is always in our head too. Two is, I have had a coach for 19 years that I started when I started my business 2 years in. Life brought us together. That coach is now my coach as I'm going through my coaching. And I said to them when I was like, I know I could go ask someone else. I'm not asking you because we have a relationship. I'm asking you because there is no one that will be as hard on me as you will be on me. Like, I will get great because you are so tough. You'll be kind to me, kind in quotation marks, but it will be a journey that is a difficult journey. I know when I'm going to get feedback from you, the feedback is going to not be personal. It's going to be, you can do better. Or if you did this, it would be better. And when you pay someone to do that, you don't want somebody that's as a coach yourself, in the coaching world, people want you to give consultation as opposed to saying you have the answer. Like, you have the answer in you, Rafi. Tell me what the answer is. And when you ask people those questions and you see in their eyes the rolling of the, oh my God, I have to say this, I have to say this thing. And it's painful, but that's how you grow. And the last thing I wanted to say was, I have a staff member in my other business who, when we do employee reviews, I learned that the harshest criticism I would get was from that staff member. And it was always 90% accurate. And as an employer, it's not personal, but it still hurts. It sucks. And hey, this is really good advice. Let me change something so that I'm not meeting the needs of that staff member. I'm improving as a boss and as a person.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right? There's always room for improvement. When you are open, when the possibilities are limitless, when you said, yeah, I've got figured out everything, that period, right? You shut the door.
Yeah.
When you say, hey, I'm doing better, and I know I can, deep down, I can even get better. Who can help me? What could that help look like? And that is amazing. And I have coaches in my own life, and I have seen the difference.
Yeah.
Because without those mentors and coaches, I wouldn't be the person. But some people say that, I don't need a coach, like I'm doing good. For them, I'm like, Tiger Woods, have a coach. Usain Bolt, have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Phelps, have a coach. If those people think I'm at the top of my game, I don't need anyone, they won't be.
That's right.
That's why I say only the top performing people will hire coaches. Mediocres won't.
We generally talk about it all the time. It's accountability, because we both have coaches. It works both ways, where one of us will say to the other one, yeah, I said that to you last week. But hearing that from a spouse, number one, is not easy. And number two, you need someone outside of that. You need someone out of your personal space for accountability.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you need someone outside of the vicinity of that bottle.
Yeah.
You don't want someone who's on the rim or on the label itself or inside the bottle. No, that's not going to help you. You need someone who is at least at a distance where they can read the label. Even if the bottle is too close, you can't read the label because it's too close. You need the bottle to be at a certain distance. That's what the coaching or the mentors do provide, or advisors. That is what I think, in my humble opinion, they should provide. And that's what makes a good coach or a coachee, mentor or a mentee, that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm. How do you balance possibility you see in someone with what they see in themselves?
Fantastic question. I was just talking about this. That's the job of a coach. That's what a true coach does. And the balance, how I maintain is, I kind of gauge them, size them up. Because say you're my client and I see the potential in you that you can literally run your business to a 8-figure business in the next 3 years. And if I tell you that today, you would freak out. You won't even be in the program in the first place because you're a new business. You're just taking it off. So I call it microdosing. It builds on you because I'm a big believer in compounding. An advisor and working in this industry for almost 2 decades. That's one thing I learned is compounding doesn't just work in investments. It works in every aspect of life. Whether it could be your habits, whether it could be your relationships, whether it could be your health. Because health-wise, where you are right now is the lagging indicator of the things that you did in the past. Your money in your bank account today is the lagging indicator of your spending and earning habits. Your relationship today is the lagging indicator of what was in the past because everything compounds. I'm a big fan of James Clear, Atomic Habits. The environment is such an invisible force that kind of transforms you and aids and abates your compounding. If you are investing in yourself, that compounds, but it has to be in the right environment.
Yes.
If you're not in the right environment, then it's not going to help. Tell my clients to kind of work on it one step at a time. The other day, my daughter was asking me, Daddy, this is so big. This is like an elephant. How do I eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. It was something with elephant shape. And she took the fork and the knife and she cut it and she said like this. And I'm like, absolutely, just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. Your goal is to build 20 property real estate. Start with one first. Don't think of the 20. Those 20 will come.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you guys talk more about manifestation as well. I'm a big believer in manifestation. I can't tell you how many things that I have manifested in my life using the techniques of the manifestation. I'm a big nerd when it comes to this neuroscience and NLP and all these things. And I've always thought about this. If your mentality or the mindset has to match your physical reality, if it doesn't match us, nothing matters.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing matters. I don't know if you know this or not. On average, a lottery winner goes broke in 8 years. So people who say that, oh, I wanted to do that, but for that I have to win a lottery. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't. It's already there. It's already in your field. Mm-hmm. You just have to grab it. You just have to will to grab it. That is where I see a lot of folks kind of lack because a lot of people do vision boards. A lot of people do visualization, this and all those techniques. But when the time comes to pull the trigger, they don't.
Yes.
Say you wanted to buy a dream house or you wanted to buy a dream car, a BMW or Mercedes or whatever, and you're manifesting that and you're working towards that. And the dream car or the house or relationship or the job or the business opportunity, whatever shows up,
yes,
and you freak out, you don't take that action, and the universe, the subconscious or the field, whatever you wanted to call it, thinks that, yeah, this person is not serious about it. And then you keep blaming, man, I've been visualizing, I've been doing all these things, but I'm not able to do anything. Then you blame that. You blame, visualization and all this is all BS. Like, this doesn't work. Well, nothing works until you work it out.
Jen has talked about manifesting our lake property and the way that it all came onto our plate. We literally said yes without the ability to buy it and then figured it out in the next 36, 48 hours. We said, yes, we can do it. We can make it happen. And then everything falls into place. When those things show up, say yes, and everything will figure out. And it's not to say that it's not stressful, but everything will line up.
That's what I say. Because universe loves action and speed. Elon Musk makes $1 billion worth of decisions in 30 seconds. I'm not saying for a common person, like go $1 billion decisions in 30 seconds, but at least you go into a coffee shop, you're staring at it, man, what should I drink? What should I order? What should I make a decision? That's where it starts. Make decisions fast and things will flow in your life.
I love it.
That is how powerful manifestation is.
People make vision boards, they make their plans, they do whatever, and then they go, now just let it come. And the way that myself personally looks at that is make the goals of whatever it is you want to make, hone in on those things, and then every day you need to be present and forthright with what's happening. That all of those little, like you said, the compounding, this step leads to that step leads to this step. You still need to continue to work towards those things. And then as you do that, it will absolutely speed up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I got three things for your listeners. I can tell you, because I know a lot of people will relate to this. Here is the idea. On average, we all live about 30,000 days, give or take, 30,000 days. If you look at all those 30,000 days, a third of it, so 10,000 days are gone in schooling, by the time you learn how to change diapers and everything. So that's where you hit it, your 10,000 days.
Right.
Then the next 10,000 days, those are your earning years, where you peak earning years, where you have your home, your cars, kids, mortgages, businesses, and all these stuffs come in those 10,000 days. So whatever you work and you save and you make in those 10,000 days will support your next 10,000 days.
Yep.
So when you look at the 10,000 foot view of how those 10,000 days you're going to maximize is one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Because in our program, it's a 7-step program. We talk about everything. That's why I named my company Peaceful Advisor Lifestyle, because I just don't want it to teach advisors just to make money.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't give you fulfillment. I wanted them to have a great relationship with their partners. I want them to be a kick-ass parents for the kids. And I want them to be the highest version of themselves. That is why my program has all-encompassing everything. I talk about relationships. I talk about being a parent. I talk about being a good citizen in the society or good member of the church or like whatever. You wanted to be that person because you owe it. Your family deserves your best version of yourself. Your kids deserve your best version of yourself. Your spouse deserves best version of yourself. Your colleagues deserve best version of yourself. Your clients deserve best version of yourself.
And you deserve
then what is stopping you?
And you deserve the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that one step at a time. See, my goal is to have like 10,000 meals with my spouse. If you ask me like why 10,000 meals? Because I wanted to build on those 10,000 days, one step at a time. I wanted to spend 10,000 days with my kids. That's my version of that compounding. I wanted to change 10,000 lives. That's where the concept of 10,000 comes for me. Because I got those 10,000 days that I wanted to make sure that I maximize. That is the reason why I come onto these podcasts or I do like Facebook Lives and all these things. I wanted to spread this message to the masses. I want them to understand life doesn't have to be like this. Well, you listen to this right now, you get jazzed up. Hold in there and go do the next thing that will make you or move you one step closer to your goal. Just do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You wanted that perfect relationship? Go ask that person out. That's step number one. You wanted to build a great relationship with your kids? Spend that next day with them.
Mm-hmm.
Go do that now. You wanted to have a great love life with your spouse or your partner? Go do that right now. You wanted to build that business? Go do that right now. The next step. Because universe rewards action.
Yes.
And I want you to take the action.
That's a really powerful message, Rafi.
Thank you. And that's what, if they take anything, one thing from today's podcast episode, I would love the listeners to take this. Don't spend your time keep chatting about talking to 10 different people. No. Getting it done is 1000x better than perfection.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, because you can correct the course along the way. Because we all have fears. Even when I was leaving my 7-figure revenue generating rolling ARS practice and starting this new venture business, it was fearful for me.
Yeah.
But I still acted anyways, because I know on the other side of that fear, that's where the freedom is. Yes. On the other side of fear, that's where the dream life that I'm looking for, the fulfillment that I'm looking for, the impact that I wanted to create, the income or the wealth that I wanted to generate, that's where it is. All it takes is that 10 seconds of courage. You take that 10 seconds of courage, and I can guarantee you, the universe will reward you in such a way you can't even imagine. And you'll send me a thank you note. Rafi, glad I heard you on Manifestation and Money podcast, and I took that decision.
I love it. It's about progress and not perfection. That's a big saying in our house.
Absolutely. Get the darn thing off. Because like Amazon wasn't started in a 10,000 square foot office. Apple did not get started, in a 10-floor building. None of these great things happen in a perfect way. If you wait for a perfect way, if you say, okay, I will start a relationship when a perfect person shows up, I hate to break this, but my friend, you will never have a relationship. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to take those vacations when my kids grow up. I'm like, what's stopping you now? What is stopping you now?
And to go back,
I heard this story.
To go back to the very beginning of this podcast, like talking about your father and going through that same route, we say this all the time. It's like, don't wait to live the life that you love. Don't wait for it. It's happening right now. Do it now.
Exactly.
Do the thing you want to do now.
Absolutely. That's the mantra. That's how it should be. I remember Jeff Bezos once saying this: life should be a summation of regret minimization. It's not the optimization. Just minimize the regrets that you're going to be having. Because we all wanted to build that wealth, $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. We all wanted to build that real estate portfolio. We all wanted to do whatever lofty things. But along the way, the journey, we wanted to make sure we live life as well.
Yeah.
I always tell this to clients. I ask clients, how old are your clients? They say 8 years, 10 years old. Do you even realize that you will have the next 8 or 10 summers with them?
Yeah.
That's all you have. After those 8 summers, consider yourself damn lucky if you see them at least once.
Jen always says they're never going to move out.
I love the optimism. I love to maximize, because that's all the balance, right? Being an advisor, clients always ask me, Rafi, I wanted to save money, but I wanted to make sure I have that money in the future as well. I don't blow it up. But that's where the balance is. Life is all about the balance. You don't want it to save, and suddenly you realize, and you're gone.
And you're gone.
And you're not able to even use it. then you spend. Then time comes in, you're living on Social Security.
Yeah.
No, you're raising funds for whatever. So you need to find the balance which can help you live today, live to the fullest today. At the same time, make sure you take care of the next 10,000 days, because these 10,000 days are really important. Because if you live these 10,000 days in a miserable life and expect that the next 10,000 days is going to be golden, you, my friend, I don't know, you are in a very big hallucination.
Yes.
We want to make sure we maximize this 10,000 days.
I actually think that is, there have been so many powerful messages in this podcast. That is so very clear of eventually it will be this. It's this right now. What you're doing right now dictates what that will be.
No, absolutely. See, you want to spend time with your kids, take them to a zoo park or a science center or whatever is convenient. You don't need money for that. All you need is the time that you wanted to give. You wanted to take your spouse outside. You wanted to have a nice lunch or dinner, especially for males. Dude, it doesn't have to be a fancy restaurant where it costs you $200. It could be a Swiss chalet. It could be even a Tim Hortons or a Starbucks.
Yes.
The time is more precious. Because after a few years, what you realize is the memories. It's not what the things that you bought. Your kid is not going to come and say that to you when they are like 20 or 25 years old. Dad, you know what? The bike you bought me when I was 14 years old, the mountain bike, that was a damn good bike. No, they're not going to tell you that. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say that when I needed, my dad was there.
Yeah.
He showed up to every single freaking game I was playing. It doesn't matter what. He was my rock I was leaning on. Your daughter is going to say that my dad is the idol that I was idolizing on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was subconsciously programming, and that's how my future husband should be.
Yeah.
The same thing goes for moms as well. And that is so very important, because clients always ask me, okay, I got this money, but I don't want it to spend on this or this. I'm not sure. I tell them, spend on memories, because doing this for almost 2 decades, the one single thing I have heard from a lot of senior clients who are on their deathbed is this is what it is. They always said that when I had the opportunity, I did not spend the money on the memories.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the things on the material, and guess who showed up on my funeral?
Yeah. No one.
Exactly.
I think that we covered a lot of ground.
A lot of ground, I guess.
Really, a really powerful message. Like, what a lovely conversation to have with you.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm so humbled.
So wonderful. Humbled. Would you like to let the listeners know where they can find you?
Sure, absolutely. They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, but I know most of the folks would be on Facebook. If any of you are listening who are financial advisors who wanted to check out our program, gonna help your business, that would be great. Or if you're a business owner, you have a staff where you're looking for any sales trainings, customer service, retention, any of those kind of pain points that you have in your business and you want your business to take off, we have the ad hoc consulting services as well that we do offer. I personally do take care of those things. You can find me there, or you can find me at www.peacefuladvisor with an O lifestyle.com, peacefuladvisorlifestyle.com.
And is that the same name for your Facebook?
Yes. They can find me Rafi Shaik. Facebook, and I'm sure you guys can put in some links
Yes, we
in
will.
the show notes.
We will.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the opportunity to speak with your audience. It was such a pleasure. I'm grateful and thankful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation and want to continue your journey to financial empowerment and creating a life you love, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Come follow us on Instagram at Manifestation and Money Podcast or at 4Leaf Lifestyle for more inspiration and behind the scenes content. Remember, your life is yours to live. Your financial freedom journey is as unique as you are. So hop in the driver's seat. It's time to create the life of your dreams.